here.
Yeah, sorry. What's going through your mind when it's going to overtime again?
Oh, like not again. Like the overtime we'd take, but actually it gets really simple when you get into overtime. You're running your whole bench. You pick your order. The other team, by the time you get to overtime, for the most part, if they're not running 11-7, you've kind of agreed on the match. You know what the match is going to be. There's not much to do back there.
You guys have obviously been really good in overtime in these playoffs. I'm sure some of it is, randomness. But is there? Matthew was saying he feels like you guys get better as games go on. Are there reasons you think you guys are such a good overtime team right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've had a really good balance. Like by the time we get to overtime, and some of it is the underdog. I mean, this is the number 2 team in the NHL. And in a normal year, when you don't have somebody else run 135 points, that might have been the number 1 team in the NHL. So you kind of you get to overtime, you're in your happy place now because it's one shot. That's all you need, and that kind of evens the playing field a little bit. It doesn't really matter. You could take any 2 teams and put them out in overtime. It's one shot, so you get to go out and have a little bit of fun.
Paul, in your estimation, is this game really as razor's edge as it looks? I mean, like the tilt of it, because it sure seems like it could tip 5-6 times a game.
For sure. The one thing that's different maybe in this series, and I think we felt this in Toronto too, in the Toronto series too, what's different is neither team opens up. Neither team cheats the game because it's tight, right? You've seen games get to 5-1 an awful lot, right? Somebody gets down when the game opens up. The odd man rushes, a couple of them are just a bounce over a stick and they get a 2-on-1. We had a bunch of 2-on-1s. It's not casualness, or it's not a team's discomfort causing them a problem. And 2 teams pretty disciplined in their game. It stays tight. They're both comfortable in that game. So yeah, I mean, our guy made a bunch of saves. Their guy made a bunch of saves. They missed some. We missed some. And it is that tight. But we've been doing that now for, not even in the playoffs, man. We've been doing this for a couple months.
Right side, Sean.
Paul, you've obviously seen a lot of goals scored. I'm curious what your thoughts were on the Barkov goal.
I've never seen that. I've never seen it. We were just talking about it in the coach's room, and Robbie Tallis said, yeah, he's done that before. But he beat, apparently, I'm just telling you the story that I just heard, he beat Carey Price high blocker, I believe, from inside his legs. I don't remember seeing that, but he's pulled that move before, but I've never seen that happen. So he's the least showboating player I've ever coached by far. I mean, most times he scores, you kind of expect him to skate by the goalie, tap him in pads, and say, sorry about that. But he pulled that move because that was the only move that was going to work. And it's not there is no one-upsmanship or showmanship in that man. It's just not in him. So when it went through his legs, he decided it wasn't going to go, and he made the best move he could. I've never seen that.
Front right, Greg.
So I just, like, those fan moments, I still get them all the time. I get them a lot more in practice, actually, because they do something at a high rate of speed. You're going, oh, that's incredible. Matthew Tkachuk's had a whole bunch of them in practice, but that'd be the same thing on the bench. You know, I'm got my next line up, and I'm watching it on the monitor going, oh, my God, he just did that. That is so awesome. It doesn't change. So you're coaching the league a long time. You still have those absolute fan moments, yeah. Sorry about that. I just dragged that one right out.
Great.
Yeah, sorry. It's true. It's true. I get so many of those. Sammy Kapanen took off in front of me one day. I've never seen a man move that fast in my life, in practice. And then Blake Wheeler shaved me once on it. He turned the corner and went right by me. And I thought, if he had hit me, he might have killed me, right? And then you get those moments. Matthew Tkachuk did one in Jackson Hole off the glass, over the guy's head, in between the other guy's legs, bar down. Practice was over. Just blew the whistle. We all skated out the ice. And that would be the same.
I wanted to ask you about Matthew. I mean, obviously another overtime game winner for him. I also wanted to ask you about his iconic celebration he's developed in these last few games, where he points to the exit and kind of leads the boys off the ice. Have you seen something like that before?
Never seen that one. I got the first day, right? Like I got what he was doing. I heard him say get his skates off today, but I mean, we walk into the rink tonight and it feels like we didn't leave, right? We've been in this rink a lot, and I think we're just pretty excited and pretty happy about being up to and getting out of here.
Obviously, we've complimented the Carolina Hurricanes penalty kill all series so far throughout the entire playoffs. What did it mean for the power play to come through finally in a moment like that?
Yeah.
How'd you like how they executed?
It was good, so there was a build, because our first one was pretty rough, and it looked exactly like the three prior. And the next one was a little better. And the last one, and because of that build, and Jamie Compound runs our power play, and he does a phenomenal job. And we knew coming into the series, we're going to have a whole bunch of power plays that look terrible. But what you can't have then is players lose confidence, but change the way they think. So Bennett comes off, arcs off around the corner. You know, the first thing that I would put myself in the dumb coaches category and the Jamie and the smart one. The first thing that the dumb coaches like me seem to scream, just shoot the puck, just shoot the puck. But he didn't, and that was the right thing to do. So I'm glad that the players still have their confidence.
There are no more questions. Thank you for your time, Paul.
Okay, guys, thank you.